Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, episode 243. And obviously, in this one, we will predominantly be getting into the Blackburn preview. But just quickly, obviously, do check out the video me and my dad did earlier. If you haven't already, a preview to this game and a bit more, the 140th anniversary of Luton. And obviously, talking on the Doughty injury, what does it mean going forward? Check all of that out. But quickly, another thing that I didn't mention on there, uh, man of the matches from the last game. I'm not going to go into proper detail like I usually do because obviously the time and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to say that we both went with Ali in the game. Obviously come on for Doughty, who is obviously one of our best players and made the impact that he made. Good defensively, like he was against Leeds, and then obviously got the hopefully the vital equaliser come the end of the season. So we both went with Ali. So that has put Ali obviously 2 votes up, his first 2 votes of the season. And obviously, in the last couple of games, a lot of the new signings have got ratings from us. So tells you what you need to know really regarding our season. So yeah, but we are going to get straight into the Blackburn Rovers preview. And joining me, as you guys can see in the title, is Dirk from Rovers. Thank you again, Dirk, for coming on. And how are you before we get into anything?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've had better weeks. It's not been the best of times for Blackburn Rovers at the minute, but hopefully, maybe something can happen this weekend to maybe get us back feeling a little bit better. Yeah, I've had better weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well get into it before we get into anything on the actual game itself. I mean, you guys, I'll be honest, at the start of the season, when I've done my predictions, I actually thought, because it was sort of inevitable that Schmodix was going to leave, and I sort of thought you guys would struggle, because I know last season he was very influential for you guys, and I thought you guys would be down there like we are, basically, and I thought we would be up there. But obviously the times have changed in that sense. I mean, what was your expectations going into the season with that departure, and also, you know, obviously once you've said that, what do you think of how it's been like now? Like,
Well, I think at the start of the season with Smodic leaving, of course we were expecting it, but I always had a bit of optimism going into the start of the season. I did think we'd be up as high as 6 or so, where we were for a good part of the season. I thought we could compete with ourselves and compete with the rest. And I was always optimistic that we could have a decent season. I think right now where we are, I think is about right. If we're going to take a whole a holistic view of Blackburn Rovers' situation, I think mid-table is about right. I think some of us still have a little bit of dreams, maybe to get back into the top end of the table, and maybe kick on towards the end. But ultimately, mid-table was probably my gut feeling at the start of the season, and I always had. Of course, I was excited where we were going. Things were looking good. But we've always got to realise that we are Blackburn Rovers, and we are a bit of a circus behind the scenes. Our owners, our people in charge, they're madmen, and they're blind madmen. They don't know what they're doing.
yeah, I mean, I looked at it and I thought, you guys could, like, especially with how you started the season. At times, I thought you guys could maybe push on, but obviously it has slightly faded away. But much better than us. Obviously going into the season, I still said we'd be up there, not quite as much as other people said. I know a lot of people said top 3, for example. I actually had us 5th, and at the time of me predicting it, our window wasn't quite as good as I'd like it to be in the summer. So that also gave me a little bit of doubts that other teams would finish above us. But I look at it and I think, overall, I'm not too sure where your full expectations were when it comes to the proper start. Obviously, you said to push on a bit, but I just thought with Smodics, and again, you've got a very good attack. I look elsewhere. Obviously, Dolan's doing very well for you guys. I don't know how true they were, but I think there was a few links. I think it was during the
Mm.
summer, maybe before, of us with him as well. But I just thought that'd be a massive thing, but it hasn't been so far. But another thing, probably going to be a bit difficult for you to answer this because you haven't had a lot of game time. But obviously, Cooley Woodrow has gone to you guys. Where is he? Because obviously, I haven't seen a lot of your games, but I have seen. Sometimes when he has come on, it looked like he's been up front. Sometimes he's been experimented a bit deeper. Like, where is he? Has he been chopping and changing by the looks of it?
Well, I only actually played. He only started one game, and he's been on a couple of times as a cameo from the bench. But the game he started, he did start up top, yeah, hasn't really worked out for him just yet. The only sort of saving grace is that Valerian Ishmael knows him well from his Barnsley days. Of course, the coach, had no these aren't his signings. All these signings were made under John Eustace. So Valerian Ishmael may know him, but I don't know if he would fit into his picture moving forward. Yeah, he's definitely a body that we can call upon, especially with current injuries. He won't be available this time around, though, unfortunately. But yeah, yet to get the best out of him just yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the last 2 or 3 games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't his biggest fan since he's come back from Luton because I remember when we actually signed him. It was at the same time we signed Morris, and I thought with Woodrow being a player that we've already had, through the youth ranks, I thought to myself, he would sort of have that determination and kick on a little bit. I mean, for us, he's got a few late vital goals, but
Mhm.
overall not enough. He was labelled a couple of seasons ago as the best finisher at the club.
Wow.
And yeah, you look at some of the games he's had since. I mean, I know I say it's only pre-season. Pre-season is quite telling now in recent years. I do think. I mean, we didn't have a great pre-season. Look how we've done. Hull
Mhm.
didn't have a great pre-season. Look how they've done. I also look at, and again, it's a different caliber, but Liverpool, they had a really good pre-season. Look how they've done throughout the league. They are quite telling. We played, I don't even know, it's some Ukrainian team, and he had a penalty and he missed. And that is one of the, you know, especially for someone that's labelled as the best finisher, one of the best opportunities to score a goal, and he didn't. When we played a low opposition team near us in the preseason as well, I think it was the year before that, and he also missed the penalty then. So when you get labelled like that, and you're not providing enough, it's worrying. And just for us, I just don't think it's going to work out. And given what you're saying, it sounds like he's not really going to probably be in the likelihood of your team next season either. But another player you have got, and I just want to get your thoughts. I'm pretty sure he might have scored. Emmanuel Dennis, is he coming and is he
What?
lighting up trees, or is he not really
No, he's
doing too
he's
much
he's
either?
also joined in on loan again, same day as Cody Woodrow. I think Woodrow was the backup plan, and then somehow we managed to sway the Dennis deal to get over the line. But Cody Woodrow also joined, I guess, and it's a bit of a sticky, messy one because Cody Woodrow's arrival kind of forced out another player, an Icelandic fella called Sigurdsson, we had too many players at the end of the day. And again, all this in conjunction with John Eustace leaving, it was just a big old mess. But Dennis arrived. And again, slow start. He hasn't played a lot of football at Forest Forest. So he was slow to get up to speed. And then, within the first couple of games, he also pulled up a hamstring injury. So he's had a nightmare start to his thing. No goals so far, but just, like 2 or 3 appearances. We may squeeze out again 1 or 2 games left of the season with him, but right now, as of recording, he's on the physio table, so he won't be another player that won't be involved this week. So we're a little bit light on numbers, despite the reinforcements of the two, Woodrow and Dennis. But we have to rely on the tried and trusted Japanese fella Ohashi. Hopefully, he can return to scoring ways.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching the first game of the season when he played, and he was really, really lively and good in that game against Derby.
Mm.
And the few times I have seen him this season, he has been, you know, quite a standout. To be fair, and yeah, it's gonna be difficult for us to deal with him. You know, as much as we have been better defensively over the last couple of weeks, it's just finishing for us. It's going to be difficult to deal with that in that department. Um, but yeah, just the last thing I do want to ask you on Blackburn is Eustace. Now, obviously, he did go to Derby. I mean, do you personally have bad blood against him, or how are you sort of feeling about the situation when it did happen?
Well, when it did happen, I was livid. Even now, if I could pick and choose who I would like to go down, I would like Derby to go down. So you got a fan in me there. So this is a kind of a catch-22 this weekend. If Blackburn Rovers win, then it kind of boosts Derby's chances. Well, if Luton win, then hopefully Derby will lose and they'll be closer to the drop. So no, I've got no malice towards him. I understand the mess that Blackburn Rovers are. It's just a very bizarre predicament. Why couldn't he have waited to the end of the season to do something like that instead of jumping ship and just throwing us into the ocean without a rubber dinghy to save ourselves. So not ideal. So yeah, I just want a little bit of karma. That's all. I'd like to see him go down with Derby, and then I think that would be a nice score to settle. That kind of wash our hands with it, and hopefully we can all move on from them. But yeah, just think a little bit of karma he's deserved for jumping ship at the wrong time. But again, if I was in his shoes, I probably would have done the same thing and jumped ship and taken some more money and a better job. But I just feel a little bit like he's stabbed us in the back a little bit, because there's also rumours of him applying early on in the season, like back in August, back in September, the Preston job, the Plymouth job. So there's talk of that as well. So it's and he's also said, I've seen an interview. It was quoted before. Oh, he's taken the job to be closer to his home. He's even said that on an interview for Derby TV. I didn't take this job to be closer to my home. So it's a little bit nasty. So hopefully he'll get his just desserts in the end, and hopefully we'll be in a better picture next season. Hopefully, but it's a long way away yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, hopefully, based on what you said about Derby, then we can obviously we've got them after this game. We
Big
can
game, big game.
yeah, that's a huge game. For me, that's like when we played Hull away, Cardiff away. You know, when you're in that battle, if I would say don't lose them games, but ideally go out for the win,
Mm-hmm.
which we have done in all of them bar Stoke away recently since we've been on much better form. Then no, we have a good opportunity, but obviously we've got the game tomorrow first to look ahead to. And yeah, going into that game, I'll be honest, I am a little bit more confident because of our results lately. Obviously, I know you guys have had a little dip in form as well in the last five. And for us, like I say, we've been much better defensively and much more structured. It's just up front we are lacking. And, I look at up front for us with more injuries that have come out, obviously, this week. Elijah Adebayo is going to be out for the rest of the season. Jacob Brown was out for the season a couple of weeks ago now. And obviously, we've got Doughty out now. That's come out today. And he's one of our, obviously, key assets. Had a really good season in the Premier League last year. So we do have a lot of players that are, coming out for the rest of the season, which is not ideal, based on the striker situation as well. With Elijah and Brown, us just not quite kicking up front. On top of that, it's not really ideal there, but there is players that are, having their opportunities, chances to step up. Melenik Ali obviously did come on the other day against Stoke and obviously did get a vital goal and did defend pretty well, considering that's not really his game. He's more of a striker slash winger. I thought he done really well in that game the other day. So good opportunity for him. He definitely warrants a start, whether that's up front or as that wing back, replacing Doughty. But it's interesting. I mean, we got a very good record as well at Kenilworth Road against you guys. I knew it was good, but I didn't realise it was that good. I actually had a look at it a bit earlier on in the week, and we've never actually lost in the league. Not too sure if you know that against you guys, we've never actually lost, which is crazy. The only time we did was, I think it was the FA Cup. I think it was quite a convincing win for you guys. But I mean, how are you? Without giving your score prediction away yet, how are you feeling ahead
Well,
of this
I think,
game?
I
Given
think, I think there was we are in a bit of a state right now. I can't lie to you, but if there's ever a time that we want to play, it's now. I think the first few games of Van Ishmael have been a nightmare, but the game against Sheffield Wednesday it shows a massive turning point for us. We were 2-0 down, heads had gone completely out of it. And that felt just like another nail in the coffin for Ishmael and his start to his campaign. But the fight back, the determination, the grit was there to see, and hopefully I can see that as a catalyst for us moving forward. Some players did really step it up in the second half, so I feel more confident taking on Luton Town now than I did before Wednesday or before Tuesday's games against Sheffield Wednesday. I just think Sheffield Wednesday were an ugly team. They have been an ugly team all season on the road. I think this game will be closer than it would have been, on Tuesday. I think definitely there's hope for Blackburn Rovers fans going into this one. Don't get me wrong, like you said, we've not got the best record against you guys. But we were in your situation last season, and we know how difficult it is to get those points, get those wins, get those goals when you need them. I don't. The bookies will say Luton Town. I think the majority of people will say Luton Town, but I think that's too easy to oversee. Is that when you need them, it's very difficult to get them. The wins and the goals.
yeah, no, absolutely. And like I say, you look at our next game. Obviously, it's Derby, which again, they're all massive for us, but that is the massive one that is remaining for us. And the other games, like, they're going to be very difficult because they're all teams that are fighting for the playoffs. We've got Bristol City, Coventry, and then West Brom. As our final three after that. So it's like, you look at that and you think, it's probably going to go down to the last game of the season when it comes to the relegation battle. I do truly believe that. But yeah, it's one of them where I do look at the games against you guys, and majority of the time they are quite close. I think of that 2-2 draw a couple of seasons ago when we scored too late on goals, and that was sort of, I guess, like how your performance was the other day, in the sense of getting too late on goals to have that fight back, and that will give you confidence and a bit of belief. So I totally understand where you're coming from there. And you also look at the game where it was the final game of the season, and we just stayed up in the championship that time, 3-2. That was a very close game for a while, to say the least. But we managed to snatch it, and obviously it was vital for us in the end. So, I am expecting a tight affair, as much as we are the favourites. I do think it will be a tight game, and just with how we've been, when you're around there, you're going to have these tight affairs. And even the year we went up, for example, is totally different circumstances, but we didn't really blow a team away. For example, if we won, we would just win like a 2-0 convincingly, or 1-0, but be very convincing. But I do expect this to be a close game. But what we're getting to now is the lineup. So if you was the manager, what lineup would you go with and formation for tomorrow's game?
Well, it's a tricky one. It's Van Ishmael's got his own plans in place, and right now he can't really play to those strengths or his desires. So he'll stick with the formation that we have had all season, 4-2-3-1. We are injury hit all over the place. So we would start with pairs between the sticks. It's been solid this season. Definitely stepped it up. Left hand side, Yuri Ribeiro has been our left back since the turn of the year. Pickering was out. Owen Becker's now out for the season. Pickering is now back, and I think he can potentially start. And I think just for freshness, I think we'll play with Pickering at the left hand side. We'll go the centre backs first, and they'll be Dom Hyam and Danny Bart, the two. Dom Hyam's played every single minute, I think, this season. Danny Bart's been solid when in the Eustace era, but is heading into the back end of his time at Rovers, I think. Right back's a question mark. Again, we typically Callum Britton would be in that spot, and again, he's a fan of Val Ishmael's, but been injured over the past couple of weeks, month or so even. Don't think he's ready to come back, and we don't really have many good backups for that. You could maybe chuck in Hayden Carter at the back, but I'm not sure. No, he's out. He's out for the season as well. So there is a question mark about right back. Joe Rankin Costello will probably start. He's a kind of utility player, can kind of play in a lot of spots. But young Christy Montgomery did come on for the back end of the game against Sheffield Wednesday. He did okay. One of our youth guys. So a lot of fans will be cheering for him to start. And I'm easy, but because I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Rankin Costello, so but I don't think Montgomery is that experienced enough to be starting. So that'll be the back four. Into the two midfielders in the centre, we'll have captain Lewis Travis and then Sondre Schonstad alongside him. They've been our rocks in midfield, very defensive minded, but Travis was going a little bit more gung ho on Tuesday. So we hopefully see a bit more of that. And then it is a bit of a question mark moving forward. We'll probably have Dolan on the right-hand side. We'll probably have Cantwell in the middle. He's been, again, best game he had again for himself in the blue and white shirt on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll get more of that in the middle. He'll be in the middle, and then it'll be probably Ryan Hedges on the left-hand side, and then up top will probably be Yuki Ohashi. He did score a crucial goal, so that'll probably be the lineup for this match. It's actually nearly the same lineup as the last game, but Pickering coming at left back, and I think that's pretty much the only change.
Yeah. No, like you say, there is definitely them targets there, of players that are very good from your side that we do need to watch out for. Like I say, especially Ohashi, I think he's come in and done really well throughout the season from what I have seen myself. But as for me, when it comes to our lineup, this is what I'd go with. A few people have said with Doughty being out now to go with a back four, but I just can't see us doing it, especially at this stage of the season. We haven't done it anyway since Bloomfield's coming, except right at the start. But I just can't see it now, especially with us needing points. And it has been working. We are 5 unbeaten playing with 3 at the back. And a lot of people said under Edwards, including myself, it doesn't seem to work. But again, he was playing a lot of players out of position, which didn't really help on top of that. But for me, Kaminsky in goal, obviously against his former club. For us, I mean, I remember when I asked, Blackburn fans about Kaminsky when we were linked with him. They said he's a very good shot stopper. It's just his distribution can be a bit shaky at times, and that is literally what it's been like for us. A lot of people throughout the season have said about dropping him. Me personally, I've never said that because I still think, he's really good at shot stopping. The amount of times he's, got us points essentially. When we played Leeds, obviously not too long ago, there was 2 great chances Leeds had, and he saved both of them. And then we basically went on up the other end a few minutes later and scored. So for me, I'll stick with him. The only thing that does annoy me, I guess, is every game he at least kicks it out once from a goal kick, and it goes out for a throw every time. So hopefully that doesn't happen tomorrow, but probably will. My back 3, I'm going to go with Bell again against his former club as well. I mean, I haven't wanted to start Bell a lot recently, but with it being, former club, obviously I know it's a bit of a while ago compared to Kaminsky, but I'll go with Bell because he has been better defensively. The only worry with him has been sometimes there's a pass he'll do in a game and he'll give it away, and then a team has an opportunity. He done it against Cardiff away. He done it against Leeds as well, which is a team you don't want to do it against, and he did redeem himself. So that's my only worry, but I'll stick with it. McGuinness done very well in the last couple of games for us. Very good aerially, winning the ball, so I'll stick with him. Makoso, 20 years old, great by the recruitment team. Obviously, they've got a lot of criticism this year, but Makoso's done really well. Belgium second league, he's come in and he could be what keeps us up. That's how good he's been. 20 years old, and he's just been immense, really. And then the five, essentially, I'm going to go Jones on the right. Isaiah Jones obviously did score against Leeds, and we utilised him in a way I want to see more, which is him driving at players. He's really quick, so uses his strength in that category. Then I'm going to go with Ali on the right. Like I say, he deserves to play. It's just where I personally, and I've said it even before the last two games, I want to see him out wide instead of up front, especially the way we play. We get the ball in the air to the target men most of the time. He's not the tallest, whereas when he's out wide, I think he can drive at players, cut inside, in and out, and do stuff like that. And obviously, being in that position is where he got his goal the other day. So I'll stick with Ali there. And in the midfield, the same as what it is. Like it does say in the title, Nakamba is a possibility. He did train this morning, Bloomfield said, but he's not trained a lot throughout the week. So I'm not too sure if he'll be in the lineup. Hopefully he will for another option because Lamine's still got a lot to learn when he comes on and he's just looking all over the place, I'll be honest. So got to stick with that midfield anyway. It is what's working. Hopefully for Walsh, he did have an player interview, and obviously he's going to try and basically get his redemption arc because last time it didn't go too well from his side of things. So he'll be aiming to do that. Clark's been one of our best players under Bloomfield, all our best, you could argue. And then Asgard settling into things. So yeah, go with them. And then up front, I have gone with Morris and Nordas. Now, like I said, I don't really want to see Ali up front. You could do a few other experiments. Like obviously the other day we did do Chong up front. Didn't really work. Could go bowler, but I just don't think that will happen. So I'll stick with two players that are strikers, which is obviously Morris and Nordas. I mean, Nordas was much more influential the other day. Did have a few chances. The only other game before that he was decent was Plymouth at home, where he got the assist for Jacob Brown. And then Morris, I mean, against Hull, I thought he was decent. Leeds, he was okay. The last game, he wasn't the best. I'll be honest. He should have been sent off, like I said in my match reaction. But yeah, I'll stick with him and Nordas. I'll be very surprised if Morris is not starting in this game. So that is my lineup when it comes to this game. And then the final bit we will do here is obviously the score predictions. So yeah, Dirk, take it away with your score prediction for tomorrow's game.
Well, I do think it's going to be a tight game, close game, not much in it. It could be scoreless. It could be one goal between us. But I'm going to stick my neck out. Not really much of my neck out, really. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think Rovers will take the lead. We haven't done that so far in the Van Ishmael era, but I think maybe the occasion will get to Luton a little bit, and then you'll of course do the grind second half, and then get yourself back into it, and maybe win it in the end 2-1. But yeah, I think Rovers will take the lead. Luton will come back, and then point split. And again, he'll be still looking for our first win under a new manager. How long did it take for you guys to get your first win under Bloomfield?
I can't remember from the top of my head. It took us a long while. Let's just say that.
But it
yeah,
got there in the end, and now you guys, is he the right man, you think, for Luton?
I do. Yeah, whatever league we're in, I do think he can definitely take us forward. Because we are looking much more structured at the back. It's just up front, but he can't really help that. Maybe he can with his selections, but when it comes to actually being on the pitch, obviously he can't do that. But as for me, my score prediction, like I say, I do think it's going to be a tight game. I am going to go 1-0 to Luton. I think we're going to edge it, and hopefully we do. Hopefully we continue Oh, apologies about that.
All right, it's all right. I heard you. 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0. Like I say, hopefully we can go into that derby game with a lot of confidence. And just, with it being our 140th anniversary as well, hopefully that can, obviously have a good weekend, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Good birthday weekend for the club. And go forward with that. So, again, thank you, Dirk, for coming on. The last thing we'll do, two last things. One of the last things, who do you think will score your goal tomorrow?
I'm going to go Hashi again. He's got one on the week on midweek. I think he'll get another one tomorrow. That's who I think I'll get our goal anyway.
Fair enough. As for me, like I say, guys, do check out the video me and my dad did do earlier, preview to this. I did say Ali because it's hard to say, any of the strikers that actually do play up front. And I think with him scoring against Stoke, he'll have a lot of confidence. And like I said in that video, it's a great opportunity, time to shine for him, really, and try and get a stamp because I'll be honest, right now, I would say that's probably the last we've seen of Alfie Doughty this season. I think next season he probably goes. So it's a good opportunity for him going forward, being a new signing as well, putting his stamp on the team, and hopefully we can, see more of him scoring goals and being an influence and things like that. So, yeah, again, thank you, Dirk. But the last thing that I will say is just let the people know where they can find you.
All right, yeah, you can find me on Blackburn Rovers Seas. I do content on Blackburn Rovers, the EFL, and much, much more. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, occasionally on some other little bits and pieces. Not OnlyFans. Not on OnlyFans just yet. Working on it.
Again, thank you again for that, Dirk. And hopefully we'll stay up and hopefully
we'll see you next season.
Yeah, hopefully. But just quickly, Paul in the comments, big up to Common New Hatters as well. Says Common Luton. He's gone with a 2-0. And again, like I said to you earlier, Paul, that was obviously the score last time we played. And I remember that time we were struggling at home to win. And then we got a very good win. Reece Burke scored a great goal that game, especially for a centre-back. And we looked much better in that game. So hopefully it's going to be like that. And hopefully from our end, it can be a revenge for obviously the game early on in the season, which I did actually go to, by the way, Dirk. And I got kicked out of the ground because I had a microphone. So I had to come out. And I just heard the game. And I got kicked out in the first half as well. So, yeah, that video went a bit viral. But, yeah, that was not good. And then Ed says, "Come on, you Hatters, let's do this." Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. There you go. Ed puts it there in the comments. So, yeah, again, thank you, Dirk, for coming on. And, guys, don't forget to smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the Extra channel. And like I say, do check out the preview me and my dad did do earlier. As for the game tomorrow, obviously a match reaction. And I will be doing, obviously, a vlog from home as well, exactly like the game the other day. So do check all of that out. And until next time, guys, take care.